Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
銀河を放だ
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from me. It's just going to solidify everything from those.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're going to be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Annabelle immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3. So back and forth. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Season 16 here of CGL, where we have your final matchup of week number 1. It's Ambitious Silver Squad going up against Drop the Guns. My name is Dextron. That is Megaless. Mega, how are you doing here tonight?
Always amazing to get back into some CGL action. You know how it is, Dex. It's Season 16. We've been around the block once or twice or 16 times for some of us. And this match, hopefully, will be a nice little way to end off week 1 here in the NA Platinum tier, making a resurgence.
Hey, it's fun to see this tier back. It was gone last season. Our team had to play up a tier just because of it. We're still playing up a tier just because of it, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But hey, let's focus back in on this game here. Again, first week for all these teams, so it's going to be really interesting to see, especially in the Plat tier, where I always kind of consider you can see a lot more stuff that isn't necessarily truly meta, but more one trick or more just comfort heroes down here.
Exactly, you know, people are able to sort of thrive and get away with a lot more, right? It's one of those things where the meta-defining comp isn't going to be the end-all be-all. If somebody just happens to be really good at, say, I don't know, Bastion, that could be enough. That can get you over the line if you really have those niche strategies in play here. So it's always a fun tier to watch, to see the chaos evolve and see what these teams can really cook up in the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of cooking, we'll get to that here in a moment. But a little bit different with our map pool this time around. Granted, map pool here. We still will have first maps for the first couple of weeks here chosen out. Those will be our control maps. Week 1, well, it's been nothing but Ilios here. After that, we have a map pool now this season, so the loser will be able to pick that. And then first, the team that has first ban does get the option to either take that first ban or give that ban to the other team and take the second ban instead. So a little bit more of a mind game when it comes to these hero bans now, Mega.
Exactly. Calling it chess instead of checkers would be the best way to put it. And there's a lot of nuance that comes with that, especially with the fact that you can't ban the same role and things like that. So it's like, hey, listen, do we need to ban a tank just to protect the tank ban on our side? Do we give it to the other side just to sort of throw them a bone and make them think, okay, what do we need to ban? What do we need to worry about? Adding those levels, those layers of mind games, it's something I will always encourage because it's an extra level of Overwatch beyond just the in-game server that can really impact the flow of the match.
Yeah, and we've seen it ever since bans were really added in. I believe about midway through last season of CGL was when they were truly added, or actually I think it was after week 1 or 2 last season was when it was actually implemented into the game. How much it actually changed a lot of the best teams and just a lot of the teams in general having that one hero be taken out for maps. It was really, really fun to see and still really fun to see now. But now we talked about hero bans. Well, why don't we move on to that section here right now? It looks like we dropped the guns. They're gonna be banning out here first. Mega, as we head over to Ilios here, what would you really expect to be seeing come banned out here?
So again, you know, it's one of those things where you think of standard bans that can come out, but then because you are down in the platinum tier, maybe those standard bans aren't so standard. Immediately, what I'm thinking of is a lot of hit scam presence. A lot of teams just don't want to deal with, especially if you're thinking in terms of like ranked play and things like that. So I would not be surprised to see a hit scam ban either coming through onto the Sojourn, the Cassidy, or even potentially the Freya. But it seems as though I missed on all of those, as it it will just be the Tracer ban.
Tracer, I feel like right now is a little bit of a safe ban because I feel like everyone has a team, or every team has at least one player that can play the Tracer. So you really want to see what other flex DPS heroes they can. Genji's normally been the go-to here, but now support and tank bans. I would always say probably the safest ban you could do right now is the support ban, staring at something like Kiriko, staring at something like Lucio. Hell, at this level, maybe even Moira.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's something that we've seen very common with support bans, right? Is it can force a certain backline to come out here, but instead we have banned the Roadhog decks. We're off mark right now, but you know what? That's okay. They don't want to worry about the Hog v Hog if we end up on the Well sub map here. And honestly, listen, Hog's got a little bit of emotion about it. I'll say it. You know, they reverted him. He's got the right click back. I kind of like him. So maybe the fear is justified here from Ambitious Silver Squad.
Yeah, Hog can definitely hit some moves you do not expect the man to be hitting anymore. But yeah, I think you're right there, especially on a map like this. This is the one map that we kind of always see Hog potentially get some play on, mostly because hey, yeah. Playing Hog on Well or Hog on Lighthouse is pretty funny because you can get a couple or a really good opportunity to find a lot of environmental kills. However, let's get the ball rolling here. Why don't we introduce you to the teams right now, or at least the starting lineups. Ambitious Silver Squad, Acrovoid, Jay, Fire Lizard, Karma, and Byronex is your lineup here. I mean, Mega, this could be the first time we see this team here all season, but just based off of what they're showing us here as their favorite heroes, I always have to be looking at someone who plays a Wrecking Ball because that always brings a certain level of chaos.
It brings a certain level of chaos, but also ball players, you know, there's two sides of the coin. Either you are an insane space maker being a menace to society to the other team, or you're going to go off the map 5 times. There's no in between. So I'm very interested to see which ball player Fire Lizard will end up being if he chooses to rock out on that.
Hey, you can always at least find some value in rolling off the map a couple times. But drop the guns now. Discord Kitten, Fear Itself, FBMG, 2 Tryhard Ray. Hey, we know that guy. And Jaden as your lineup here. And Mega, I'm going to be honest, at least looking at this lineup here just based off their favorite heroes, it actually does look like a pretty respectable comp.
Yeah, it very simple, respectful sort of dive comp here. I will say Headrimmer is salivating waiting for the Ajax button to come up for Ray. So, you know, with a homie on the stream team getting to be in the server tonight, he better be bringing his A game, that's for sure.
We already flamed him for not doing something before the series. We're going to probably flame him a couple times during the series. But, well, we've talked about bans. We talked about our map pool. We've shown you the teams. Mega, we're not that far away from getting the first game for these two teams started here, and we'll be heading to Ilios. And just based off this, I believe we're going to Ruins.
Yeah, it's looking like Ruins. Fun fact, remember when that statue was supposed to change to Junker Queen, and it kind of just never did?
No, it took like half a season.
It should have been longer. They made a whole big deal out of it just to never make a big deal out of it. But regardless, we're looking at a very interesting, you know, sort of differences here. A brawl comp coming out from Ambitious Silver Squad means that they're going to want to sort of get aggro here and get in the face on Well, which is, or not Well, Ruins rather, which is definitely known as more of a dive map, which is what Drop the Guns are currently showing.
And again, Drop the Gun's shown us that they were potentially leaning towards dive a little bit in their kind of hero portraits, but again, you always have to kind of expect something a little bit different from that. But Fire Lizard on the Ramatra, I feel like Ramatra doesn't get as much play as they really have, and ever since Block Slop was kind of removed from them, but FBMG making that, or GM making that dive into that backline, and now you have to really see them get out dodge or using another dive just to get away from it. Discord King, though, gonna be the first one to fall here as Jay finds them right there. Drop the guns, though, even losing one, gonna be able to find the point.
Exactly, but it is still a bit of a trade back and forth here. It is technically 4v4, so it's still plenty of opportunity for somebody to come opening here. But yeah, it's just going to be Ambitious Silver Squad backing up at least for the moment to get that 5th member back in tow here. And again, the Brawl comp, it kind of, you know, it needs to run down a target, right? Vernix is going to have to run somebody down with this Lucio speed. Otherwise, this dive is going to constantly have the momentum the entire match.
Yeah, they really need to kind of get that together right now, or else, like you said, it's going to slowly start to get away from them. Fear itself, though, not that far away from having their Deadeye. Jaden almost has the tidal wave as well on the Wu Yang, but it's going to be Jay again, finding out Fear here. And Jay, I mean, they found the first pick last fight. It didn't lead to much. However, finding 2 already, going to be helping their team out a lot. You're seeing more trades go back and forth, but Jay, they have the hot hand. They have the trigger finger. Make it 4 for them right there. The last one left alive is Jaden. And you know Jay is trying to get the ace, but they're not going to be able to.
No, Wu Ying, unfortunately, a little too evasive for that. But yeah, the Cassidy going absolutely crazy in that fight. So now you're looking towards a solid ult bank for both sides here, especially looking at this Kitsune rush from Karma here. It should be a good engage tool to keep this rush in tempo and in control.
I like how ambitious Silver Squad is playing. They want to play up, but they lose Fire Loser early. However, Jay's keeping that hot hand. Deadeye out here from Fear itself to buy space, but it doesn't matter. Jay is the ultimate being on the map right now. Find the last 5 or 6 kills, I believe, here for ambitious Silver Squad, and I think single-handedly kind of keeping them in this round here in control. Jay popping the Deadeye here, very low, but it's going to be FBGM taking them out right there, and that should be drop the guns, especially with that pick right there, and that follow-up one should be retaking the point, and honestly, a really good hold there for them. Didn't give up the lead for that long.
Yeah, no, we're pretty even on point percentage right now. Drop the guns now, getting back in control. And they also didn't have to invest a lot, right? Already only having to use that Deadeye here, coming up on every other ultimate for drop the guns. I'm especially looking towards a potential combo between Jaden and Discord Kitten here. Applying that Wu Yang ultimate to a Dragon Blade just makes that Genji that much more lethal when those dives go in.
The dive coming out here, or the ambitious Silver Squad going in. The Annihilation out there already gonna find one Disco King. They're gonna pop the blade, and I believe they get the Wu Yang ultimate there as well. Gonna be able to find 2 with it, but after that, nothing much else. Ambitious Silver Squad, though, the Annihilation only fired that one, really didn't do much, especially with investment as the beat as well from Vernix. You were really expecting a little bit more. Fire Loser, though, still alive and still throwing punches. However, they're not going to be able to find any picks at the moment. FBGM does have the primal here to keep themselves alive if they need it, but it looks like they're trying to play aggressive. Going to be able to find Fire Lizard, and now you're just seeing drop the guns, dropping everyone on the side of ambitious Silver Squad, and drop the guns. Looks like they're going to be able to take our first point of the night.
Yeah, being able to get it there. And again, they just sort of held themselves in control. I feel like, there was a moment where maybe they felt like they invested a few too many ultimates, but considering the Annihilation that came out from ambitious Silver Squad, a little too over ambitious, the Ram running in, and there's been a few times when the launcher's kind of been disconnecting from the rest of the Silver Squad there. And having that sort of separation and disconnect really can hinder you, as we saw throughout that round here. So making sure to play a little bit more cohesive, a little more on top of each other is going to have to be the name of the game here, especially against this dive from drop the guns, because again, it just looks so confident and in control from them.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, ambitious Silver Squad, when they were playing really good as a team, it was really Jay that was finding a lot of value there. I mean, 8 picks, and remember, 6 of them basically came in 2 team fights. The other 2, well, I mean, they were just difficult to find for the most part. Drop the guns, they really settled in after losing that first team fight, coming right back in. Yeah, granted, it was a little bit of a slower fight after that, but it ended up working out for them. FB is just doing what is essentially God's work right now on this Winston, and ambitious Silver Squad really doesn't have a good response for it.
No, these dives are just constantly coming through. But again, you see it here. Fire Lizard just kind of running in, hoping to get a pick without the rest of the team in tow here. And when you're separating yourself as the tank, it's just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I like the swap over to the Jungle Queen, but I don't necessarily know if it's the right thing to do here. Again, Fear going to be able to find Karma out, Fear finding Fire, and already just a team fight victory here for Drop the Guns, as the majority of the team looks like they're just heading to the point.
Yeah, just going to get that first cap going here, and now Fire Lizard going to make the swap over to the Hazard. Again, I don't know if it's necessarily a hero choice situation, going from the Ram to the Junker Queen to the Hazard, back to the Junker Queen now. Again, like I said, I don't really think it's a hero choice thing. It's just about making sure that you stay up with the rest of your team. Constantly separating and disengaging on your own is really starting to hinder yourself, because FBGM, as we've been seeing, is just ready to jump on that backline and put massive cleave.
And Jaden just finds so much value with those shots right there from Wu Yang, finding Jay out, and now Acrovoid trying to do what they can, but they immediately just have the Wraith form out there just to keep themselves safe here. I mean, ambitious Silver Squad, they've had 3 of their players make swaps, only to swap right back, and you kind of see them right now lagging behind in that ult economy.
Yeah. And lagging behind the ult economy already is not looking good. I mean, you already see it. Jaden has the Tidal Blast ready to go here, but Jay has found that early pick once again.
And that's exactly what ambitious Silver Squad needed there. Jay finding one, Vernix to be able to find their counterpart in Ray there, but FB going to be able to trade that out. So neither side has Lucio's, but ambitious Silver Squad trying to drag this fight towards point, working out for them right now as they almost get the flip, and now Fear going to pop the overclock, at least getting some more damage to help Jaden. Fear, though, with that shot right there, shuts Karma down. Ambitious Silver Squad so close, yet so far away from getting that point flip.
Yeah, and Drop the Guns only having to invest the overclock there, absolutely massive help to them right now because they're going to have this Primal Raids. They still have the Tidal Blast to work with as well here. Ambitious Silver Squad is coming up on some ultimates of their own, right? They have the Sound Barrier for survival, and they're getting closer and closer to a Death Blossom potentially, but otherwise they are going to be starting to run out of time here.
Primal coming out here from FPS. They need to keep themselves alive. Jaden needs to get out dodge as well. Get some speed boost there from Ray to just keep them up. FB finds one, looking for some more here. Now focusing in on the Juno of Karma. Everyone on Ambitious Silver Squad is really low at the moment. Agrovoid, though, finally going to be able to shut down FB, but is there going to be enough time for them to get touch? Beat is out there from Vernix. They're just not going to be able to make it. Drop the Guns. Whew, Meg, I don't know what I expected coming into this entire series, but Drop the Guns, an impressive start here.
An impressive start, Ambitious Silver Squad. They ended up panning the Hog for a sub-map that didn't even get a chance to come up here, so maybe something to consider in the back pocket here. But the upside being that you now have a lot of intel on your opponent, right? Drop the Guns clearly comfortable on this dive composition. They really didn't change much up between the two rounds we saw here, both the Lighthouse as well as Ruins. So, you know, with that little bit of intel in your back pocket for Ambitious Silver Squad, now you can sort of start to think and be like, okay, we know they're good at dive. Maybe they can start planning out for how we want the rest of the series to go.
Absolutely, especially when you consider that the map pool is now a thing here. Granted, you still get to choose what mode we go to next, but there is now a certain map pool that you get to pick. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what. Okay, Ambitious Silver Squad gets the pick here. I know that scoreboard below us might be wrong here, but I mean, there were some bright spots there for Ambitious Silver Squad, Mega, and one of them was definitely Jay. They seem to be finding a lot of value there on that Cassidy. One where if you're Drop the Guns, so you potentially ban out the Cassidy here next map just to make sure you potentially have you could be looking at, hey, we'll see the Cassidy again, but we might be up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, and I mean, the Cassidy, you know, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you ban the Cassidy, you're taking it away from yourself, and we did see Drop the Guns wanting to run that as well here. And obviously, Jay definitely was the superstar in that first round for Ambitious Silver Squad. But I think it's one of those things where Drop the Guns, you know, regardless of that debate, they have to already be thinking in their mind, okay, you know, we're probably not going to be allowed to run that dive again unless it's our choice, or if we force it on a map that it's suboptimal on, because Ambitious Silver Squad, they're not going to willingly go there. All right, it's just it wouldn't make any sense to play into that dive again, especially when they seem so adverse to it. They clearly feel more comfortable on these brawl comps, the way we saw them going between the Junker Queen and Ramatra, and things like that as well. So I'm more expecting that Cassidy ban to not really come out, just because it really wouldn't benefit anybody involved.
I mean, I actually think it would benefit Drop the Guns a little bit, because you definitely saw them get off that cast. Yeah, they had an excellent cast map 1, but they went over the Sojourn on map 2, and they made, I think, such a big difference. That railgun shot is always strong. The disrupting shot just does enough damage to make it really annoying in any situation. And I think just being able to play a little bit further back, especially with how they were playing their Wuyang all the way back, it seemed like they're fine at least having one player back as well, just being able to pump in a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, and that's fair. But the thing is, again, it's one of the things of like, sure, you could absolutely go through and ban the Cassidy here, but hit scan is a very transferable thing, right? I'm assuring you, if Jay is good at Cassidy, can also be good at the Sojourn, good at the Ash, good at the, like, it's not like something like the projectile heroes, right? Where, oh, just because you have a good Genji doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be able to pick up a Hanzo or something else like that right away, right? There's a different learning curve, whereas all the hit scan, it's, you know, one and the same here, but Ambitious Silver Squad are getting the first ban here, and potentially they could go for a DPS ban to protect that Cassidy as well.
They could, but I think I'm with you. They will probably lean more towards banning out another tank this map, because I just think the Winston was a little bit too much for them to really deal with, because it allowed everyone else there on Drop the Guns to really play free and really played relaxed, which is something that you don't necessarily want to see very early on in any series.
Yeah, you don't want to see it at all. So again, it's just sort of waiting to see here what exactly this ban is going to be. But listen, if anything, those bans from last time have taught us that it is unpredictable here. You definitely cannot anticipate any and everything that's going to be thrown at you. But as the timer's running out, I'm simply just stalling with my words. But it's actually the Genji ban, so this could, again, be sort of that protect, right? Take out a dive DPS while also still making sure that the other team cannot ban that Cassidy and take it away from Jay.
Yeah, and I think that's the right move to go right there. I mean, I really thought the tank would be the way to go, like I kind of said, but hey, you get rid of Genji, which was a hero that we did see drop the guns play a little bit. Now, though, you're able to get rid of it and still protect the cast, like you said, but now drop the guns. Part of me really wants to say they're going to go over to that support line here and try to make it a little bit more difficult, considering we did see Silver Squad play a Juno for a little bit. I feel like Juno might be the ban here.
Yeah, I mean, at the very end, they did go for that double speed with the Lucio and Juno here, so it would not surprise me in the slightest. But it's actually the Kiri, which we saw more of on map 1. And again, this makes sense because with that dive, with that fast-paced nature, they're running, Lucio as well as Wu Yang, new hero to Overwatch. Spoiler alert, I absolutely love Wu Yang. Does tons of damage, great healing, great peel for himself, things like that. And so just getting rid of that cleansing Suzu, getting rid of that, thing that could disrupt the dive, but overall, it feels like getting rid of the Kiri was the play.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm right there with you. I think Wu Yang's a really fun character. Kind of an idiot, but I think that's been a really good thing to have recently when it comes to Overwatch heroes. But right now, I mean, these are two, I think, really good bans. I thought the Hogman map 1 was a little bit more kind of perplexing, but as we head into Saravasa, this is still a map where you can technically play a little bit of dive. So if you're Ambitious Silver Squad, you might still have to deal with that Winston.
Yeah, you definitely could here. We have seen teams sort of try to pilot the dive comps on Saravasa to mix levels of success here. But one thing I will say that I fear for with the Winston is if that Reaper ends up coming out again for Ambitious Silver Squad, right, you have to be a lot more in your face. It's not like something like Ilios where there's tons of high ground or there's tons of places you can peel back, regroup, wait for your team. Saravasa, it's very close quarters. You kind of have to be in on every single one of these objectives to really be holding it and taking space on it. So that could also be a detriment to the Winston here as we head through this map.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a really fun map, and you see a lot of teams kind of gravitate towards it just in general in any level of play. Because one, you can play a lot of different types of stuff here. I mean, hell, OWCS today, you saw Diva, you saw Wrecking Ball, you could see Hazard, you could see Queen, which is something we saw from Ambitious Silver Squad. And I will always say, Queen is kind of built for these Flashpoint maps. However, Ramatra is something they showed us. Orisa, haven't necessarily seen that just yet, but Orisa does find a lot of value on this map.
I mean, yeah, any and all of the brawl tanks, really. Just brawling as a style is absolutely going to benefit you any and every time that you come up on, realistically, any of these Flashpoint maps. This is also going to be my shout-out to the competitive ladder. Please vote for Saravasa. Please vote for all Flashpoint maps. Stop clicking King's Row every single time. Please learn a little bit of nuance about the game. Because again, these teams, they pick these maps for this reason. In competitive play, it's always an amazing map to see here because, again, it's going to be very close quarters, very on top of each other, the way these teams want to play here. And from what we're seeing in the spawn room, it would be interesting to see Drop the Guns roll out on this composition because there's no speed in tow. To Tryhard Ray currently hovering the Moira, I definitely expect that to swap over to Lucio before time's over. But also the Venture, something that a lot of people are a little bit disgruntled about right now, to say the least.
I like Venture. What's up with Venture?
Just very strong. Very, very strong meta-wise right now. As the black screen just occurs, don't mind that. No. Happens to the best of us. So probably just fell off a cliff. It happens to all of us. But like I was saying about Venture, it's just, again, it's a very strong meta character right now, constantly able to disrupt, move people's positions with the drill and things like that. Overall, just and then on top of all of that, doing insane amounts of damage. Yeah, and we are seeing that the Drunk can come back out here, but it's actually from FB. You see Filers who go right back over to that Ramatra they set off last map with Discord King. They're going to be able to trade out Karma and find Jay, who is on that casted Discord Kitten. Finding 3, almost 4 right there, but FB takes it away from them. They could still end up with 4, but it looks like Fire Lizard going to be the last one back to spawn. And oh, Mega, this is a staggering stagger. I mean, listen, I've seen Diva get staggered before, Baby Diva. That makes sense. Staggering a full-fledged Ramatra, interesting take. He could pop form at any time here. It's only an 8-second cooldown, but sure, go for it. And now you're looking at, look at this. Drop the Guns is playing so far forward right now just because they have the positioning on the map. Ambitious Silver Squad, they have to fight just simply to get at a chance to take the objective. They're not even fighting for point positioning yet.
Yeah, and I like when teams do this on this map. They really try to fight outside of it, and because always they can just safely rotate back to the point. Ambitious Silver Squad has to try to find some way in, and Jaden trying to do what they can. They're not going to be able to do much. Does get that healing boost to a lot of their teammates, but 2 Tryhard Ray was not one of them. Fear itself could be able to find one, but even losing the first member of this fight, dropped the guns with 4, about to make it 5 in a row here as, oh, they're going to be staggered out again, but FB makes sure that you don't lose your venture.
And again, I feel like, Fire Lizard is constantly separating from the rest of his squad here. And it's one of the things, he's trying to chase down Jaden on this Wu Yang, but Wu Yang has that lovely ability just being able to surf away on the waves, not have to worry about the Ramontra being in the face. But meanwhile, while Fire Lizard's making this chase, the rest of Ambitious Silver Squad is getting run down by this Junker Queen composition, by Discord Kitten on the Reaper, and really there's no help or peel for them because the Ramontra's so far away.
And right there, it was Discord Kin turning that corner and seeing a face full of the entirety of Ambitious Silver Squad right there. Fire Lizard, though, does have this Annihilation ready to go, but down Jay and now down, well, what's about to be almost everyone here. I don't think we're going to be seeing that Annihilation. And Acrovoid and Vernex just trying to get out with their lives.
Yeah, simply running for the hills, some might say here, as... we just simply imagine the game. You don't need to see it. Just simply imagine it in the canvas of your mind. The enigma that some might say here. But
Bob Ross is right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a little bit of Bob Rossing here. But yeah, currently Drop the Guns have just been in such dominant control here. And again, they're doing it without any sort of speed, right? No Lucio or anything to speak of here. They're simply just sort of raw walking around the map. Their only sort of engagement potential is these Junker Queen shouts. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
Rampage coming out there from FB does land onto 3. Vernex gonna fall. Jay barely stays alive, but 2 Tryhard Ray going aggro mode, gonna be able to find 1 here, doing what you always kind of blame Moiras for doing, nothing but damage. But at this point right now, they're winning the fight. Doesn't necessarily matter. They are doing good. 2 Tryhard Ray gonna pop the invisible coalescence and gonna be able to find 1, as we are seeing Discord Kin typed area cleared.
You gotta type the area clear though. Like it's a requirement. You're playing Reaper, absolutely understandable here. And because of how quick these flashpoint points tick up, nobody's probably gonna make it back to Palace here in time. So already at map point is Drop the Guns right now. Ambitious Silver Squad, they do have some tools to work with, including both DPS ultimates here. The Deadeye and Pulse Bomb alike can definitely open this up for the rest of the squad, but they are gonna have to worry about the tectonic shock from Fear itself on the other side.
Absolutely, but Acrovoid, you have to be looking at this Pulse Bomb. Who's probably the best target to put it onto? Fear might be a good one, but Jaden's probably the best option here. Tectonic Shock, though, coming out from them right now as they're just buying a lot of space. Jay needing to find a shot, not going to be able to find it this time around. And again, it's Fire Lizard just kind of over-aggressing right there, putting themselves into a bad spot. Jay now being just disengaged from the rest of their team. Ray, you find that 1 pick right there, and now it's just Drop the Guns. Again, cleaning up this team fight, going to be able to cap point yet again.
Yeah, being able to get another cap coming through here. And again, that Tectonic Shock, the amount of space that it can clear, it's, a very devastating ultimate in that regard. Takes a lot of pressure across the entire map here. But Drop the Guns currently in a lull in their ult bank. They don't have anything to work with. Ambitious Silver Squad coming in with both a Sound Barrier and this Deadeye to boot means they have the survivabilities as well as a massive kill potential ultimate to really get them in here.
And honestly, the Deadeye might need to be used just to buy them some space, because Drop the Gun's doing a really good job just holding them in this choke point and force them in spots that they really want to take these fights. But Karma going to be able to find Fear out here early on. Jay, this is exactly the person who really need to come alive here right now for Ambitious Silver Squad. Going to be able to get rid of Jaden. And, I mean, you do see them go towards point 2, try a raid falls. That's the support line gone for Drop the Guns. And Discord came just a little bit late. Same thing with FB, but they won't be staggered out. They'll be mercilessly killed fast.
Yeah, I mean, mercilessly is certainly the way to put it here. And again, they do it off the back of just the Deadeye. So now still having these other tools to work with, including the Sound Barrier, as Drop the Gun's starting to build up towards things themselves. Just the Tidal Blast online right now, but that Junker Queen Rampage is fast approaching.
Tidal Wave out right there. The Annihilation from Violers. I like it here, but you might need to have a little bit more support. Vernex, I thought they might need a beat right there to really help them out, but they're not going to be able to use it. Karma a little bit late with the Coalescence as 2 Tryhard Rays. Coalescence is just going to end up finding more value at the end, and Jaden finding all the value right there with the left click. Ambitious Silver Squad does have the lead here, though, and I mean, they have a beat and a Pulse Bomb coming up, but they're walking into a lot, Mega.
Yeah. Yeah, they're walking into a lot. It's certainly an understatement here. But I mean, they do, again, both teams have quite a few resources. The Sound Barrier being held for a while now. The Death Blossom.
Whew. Almost an Ajax right there. Death Blossom from Discord not going to be able to find enough right there. There's the Rampage, though. Lands onto 3. And you're just going to see all 3 of those members fall by the wayside. Ambitious Silver Squad, though, does have those last 2 remaining members on point. Acro trying to do what they can. And now FB back at here. Going to be able to find Karma. Is Acro around? No. Fire Loser onto the ball. Will they be able to get back in time? No, they will not. Drop the guns. Another dominant map win here. Ambitious Silver Squad, though, this last point was by far their best.
By far their best. They finally came into something with an advantage here, and they were able to get some points on the board, but unfortunately was not enough. Those Reaper Mythic guns are so cool. They distract me every single time. But yeah, again, it just feels like Drop the Guns, they have this clear idea of what they want to do, even if it's not, the healthiest thing in the world to run a Junker Queen around the map with no speed character of any kind. At the end of the day, you're doing it with confidence. You're doing any and everything you need with it. So overall, you just sort of take that as a dub, and now you find yourselves at series point.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Drop the Guns, I mean, this is probably exactly how they wanted to start their season. A really dominant map 1. They really keep that momentum up all the way through map 2. The third point kind of starts to get away from them a little bit, but I really think it was because Ambitious Silver Squad had all those ultimates ready to go right there. But you saw right after that, and Drop the Guns came right back in, easily won the next team fight, and really put Ambitious Silver Squad into a spot where they were going to have a rough time getting anywhere close to that point.
Exactly. It's always rough to get to that point here, but Ambitious Silver Squad, now finding themselves back against the wall in their first match of the season here. We gotta, see what they can muster here, give themselves a moment to recuperate. So we're gonna throw it to a quick little break. Go ahead, use the bathroom, do anything you gotta do like that, but make sure you come back right after, because you don't want to miss the end of this match.
All right, welcome back, everyone, from our halftime break right there. So far, Drop the Guns, they've been pretty dominant in this series, but Ambitious Silver Squad, they might have figured something out there towards the end of our last map. We do know what our third map of the series will be, where we'll be heading to Shambali Monastery here, one of the maps here in the map pool. And Mega, I really like this map. I'm happy that there's finally teams that are willing to play it a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very interesting map, all things considered, because it definitely plays like more of a brawl map, despite the fact that it's quite literally an uphill battle for for a large majority of the map here. So the attackers quite literally having to push the cart up the hill as we go through the mountain ranges here in the monastery. And again, you know, with this sort of brawl-oriented stuff, Ambitious Silver Squad, this is playing to their preference right now. But Drop the Guns, I mean, they just proved it last map. They're not dive OTPs. They could definitely brawl with the best of them, especially on some of those Junker Queen looks.
Oh, absolutely. And this is definitely a map where I feel like having that flexibility of going from brawl to dive to poke and maybe even a little bit of rush really does benefit, especially the attacking side. Defensive sides, though, it's really interesting to see what they play, because I feel like you kind of have to stick to whatever composition you come out on, especially on that first point. After that, though, you can start to make swaps a little bit. That third point, wild point, you can see almost anything, in my opinion.
Exactly. I mean, surely anything. A lot of teams, they end up just sort of sticking with their on, or if the defense really feels like swapping it up, they could go for something crazy. But it's one of those things, again, you just sort of have to wait and see what these teams end up cooking up here, because ultimately they are the chefs at the end of the day. And speaking of, we have to see what these bans are going to be coming through now. Ambitious Silver Squad, you know, they have to sort of, again, rule in that realm of possibility. Do we go for another DPS ban just to protect the Cassidy, make sure that ban doesn't come through? Or do we have to start focusing our sights elsewhere, potentially taking the Junker Queen off the table, see if you can force it into more of that Ramatra mirror that maybe you're more prone to liking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I think it's hard to get rid of a tank. I think it's a little bit easier to get rid of a DPS hero or damage hero right now if you're Ambitious Silver Squad, just because you don't really necessarily want to get rid of, say, a Drunk Queen, because that's something you've shown us already. Winston would not be a bad shout here. Like I said, you could definitely play some dive, and on that second point, if you're the attacking side, Winston does have a little bit of usability. But, well, we're not going to be seeing the Wu Yang this time around. They banned that out.
That also doesn't surprise me as well, because across all these comps, they have been playing the Wu Yang, and it's something that it kind of goes underrated, right? We're always talking about the tanks, always talking about the DPS. Wu Yang, those charged orbs, when they get going, are 100 damage if they're making contact with the player. That's a lot from just one source of damage, not counting anything else, as well as the healing capabilities Wu Yang provides here between the tidal wave and things like that. So absolutely see why that's coming out here. Want to see what else Drop the Guns has in their back pocket for those support picks. But meanwhile, Drop the Guns, they now have clear shots here to take, and they took them at Ramatra on his home map. No hometown buff for our favorite Omnic.
Is that our favorite Omnic? But yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, just getting rid of the Ramatra here, that's been something that we have really seen Ambitious Silver Squad just play a lot throughout the series. Probably might be the hero they're most comfortable with. So getting rid of it here, really good idea from Drop the Guns.
Listen, I'll say he's my favorite Omnic. I'm down to commit to that.
He's committed genocide, or no, not that. He's committed at least murder.
No, definitely genocide. The Omnic Crisis was genocide. But, you know, it is what it is type deal. I don't know. Listen, he's great. For some reason, there's a ship between Ramatra and D.Va that's very popular, especially in like COS spaces. Could not tell you why that is. It's just a fun fact I wanted to point out in case people at home didn't know. But yeah.
Any ship with D.Va is like weirdly popular. But yeah, I mean, but heading into this map here, I mean, no Wu Yang coming in, so we're not going to be seeing someone ride the Gnar this time around. But I mean, we've seen Wu Yang really work well for Drop the Guns throughout this entire series. I mean, we talked about it on map 1, map 2. They were able to play decently far away from a lot of the fights, still getting a good amount of healing, and still be able to find a lot of good damage as well, which is one thing you talked about before.
Absolutely. And again, like I'm just trying to think through all of the possibilities here, right, about what we're going to see between these two squads and what they've because with the Ramatra ban, I'm trying to think of like the variants of Brawl and things like that. You already hear the Junker Queen shots because I know I already hear them, but the Reinhardt actually going to be coming out for Ambitious Silver Squad, which I find incredibly interesting because it's a very old school style of Brawl, and it seems as though everybody keep quiet. Drop the Guns is wanting to attempt a spawn hole.
I like this. I like this a lot. I mean, right now, Drop the Guns, they have to feel very confident in themselves. They're up 2-0. They've really been dominating this entire series, so why not try to do this close hold here? Fear itself going to be able to find Acro, and now FB just charging in right here. Already going to force out that swift step there from Karma, but you're just seeing Fire Lizard Karma get very low. Karma going to fall right there. Fire Lizard somehow still left alive, but it's going to be Discord Kid taking them out right there. Drop the Guns, picking up right where they left off, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, spawn holds have become, sort of in and out of popularity on escort maps. You'd normally see them on maps like Havana, but again, it's always sort of the escort category, right? Being able to see how they attempt these spawn holds as Karma is feeling the pressure.
And Discord going to be able to find the deflect kill. Discord now with 2 right there, looking for a third, but Ambitious Silver Squad just backing right back up into spawn. Acro trying to get there, but no, Discord will find the third.
I love how you're sticking with Discord. You're just afraid of calling Hurricane, but hey.
Was it locale they want us to call?
Oh. Listen, either way. Enjoy the black screen. We could probably guess what's happening. The spawn hold's still continuing. Granted, we could come back to like an Earth Shatter, and just all of a sudden it's like the point's moving completely fine. Oh, we hear it in the background. Well, we heard it for a second.
I mean, all you need is just one pick to go your way right now if you are Ambitious Silver Squad, and you really open up this close hold. Jay, I believe, did find one right there, so I think they finally have been able to at least break it for the moment.
Emphasis on we think, but the Reinhardt was definitely outside of the spawn realm here, so that payload hopefully moving ever so slightly. But again, it's one of those things where you have to keep it moving. You're starting to worry about the old banks when they come up as well. I have to speculate that surely a Shatter and these DPS ultimates are starting to come online here, but again, it's just sort of having to wait and see exactly where these ultimates are going to end up laid out.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, depending on whether or not we pause the game or if it's still going, I mean, you could really see Ambitious Silver Squad really try to strategize something. We're going back in now, so my feeling is we're still going. I'm hearing picks, and Vernix finding one right there. They have been able to get through it right there, but we haven't talked about Jaden getting off the Wu Yang for the first time, going over to the Ana, going to be able to sleep Fire Lizard, and that allows Drop the Guns, at least those members that are still pushed up, to actually back out.
Yeah, and those members, I mean, they're still playing down, but that Rampage connecting them to everybody.
Woo! Finding 3 right there. Already losing Vernix. Karma going to use their Susan to keep them alive. Death Blossom coming out from Jay. We'll get rid of FB, but you see Locale and Ray just go in and clean up. Actually, Ray has the nano.
I promise you, I can guarantee with 100% certainty, Ray begged for the boostio there. Was like, I'm going to get a sick play. I'm going to do it. But then, the rest of the team decided, no, I will get the kills. That being said, both teams kind of emptied out their ult banks here. Only thing going to be online for, these potential final fights here is going to be the Earth Shatter from Fire Lizard. So, swing around the corner with that one once it's built, connect onto a few members, get them on their backs. This could be a massive opening to get off of point A.
I will say, though, that last 15% on that Shatter could be the longest right there. Acro being put to sleep. Gonna get the nade thrown on them, but there's the Shatter coming out. Does stall too, but not gonna be able to find anyone right after that. Fire Lizard now has to put up that shield to keep themselves alive, but they are putting their back towards the enemy team here. The supports right now for Ambitious Silver Squad doing a lot. It's gonna be Locale falling there, but Acro gonna be traded out. Beat now from Ray as they are looking to find more here and stop the cart dead in its tracks. Fire Lizard, though, taking out an Ambitious Silver Squad, trying to do all they can to keep this alive. Jay picking up the slack here a little bit, all the way back from map 1 where they just were able to catch fire, but it's gonna be quenched here really, really quickly. Fire Lizard, though, could get back, and they're gonna be able to actually adding on to their meterage here for the moment. The Rampage came out from FB, but just wasn't necessarily landed on anyone, but Fire Lizard, they can sell this out for a moment.
Yeah, but only so long you can stall out in the face of the Death Blossom here. That'll finally put an end to it. And Ambitious Silver Squad now see what little they have to hold here, but it's all they have to hold on to, as Drop the Guns are definitely salivating and looking at how close that golden box of victory is going to be before their victory.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting spot for the cart to be for Ambitious Silver Squad, because you could try to close hold, but you really put yourself into, hey, if we do that and lose, there's a chance that we are rushing back into a final fight, or you could try to play on that high ground at the first turn. But if you do that and lose a fight, you're probably definitely not getting back in time to get a last second rush team fight out there. So Ambitious Silver Squad, they really have to think about what their strategy is going to be for this defensive side.
Yeah, and again, like you said, it's going to have to be ambitious, probably more than likely a spawn hold of their very own, which definitely can work with the Reinhardt, right? Just being able to get into the face of the opposition here, although I feel like Drop the Guns maybe is prepping for a spawn hold here. That's why you're seeing the Bastion and Junkrat hovered. Well, it's not what they're going to, fully stick to. Just being able to break out of spawn with these two heroes is a very common strategy.
And I like it here, but now you're seeing some more swaps come out here. Fear going over to the Hanzo, I think, is only briefly just going to be for that sonar arrow, then swapping right back over. And you're absolutely right, Manga. That close spawn coming back out. Let's see how Ambitious does with it this time around.
See how they do indeed, as again, it's immediately scouted here. But I'm actually not seeing anybody with Fire Lizard. Fire Lizard just running.
The rest of their team was hitting behind that wall, but Fire Lizard just charged out there, and there was no support there to keep him alive. Acro going to fall right there and drop the guns. They're trying to drop this series very, very quickly here right now.
Yeah, that's so baffling. If you want to commit to the spawn hold, you have to do it as a team. You cannot do it solo. And for some reason, Fire Lizard was in alone. That's a good pick on the Discord Kitten, but you're going to need a little bit more here, because Fire Lizard, again, is currently the only one anywhere near the objective.
And they're going to have to be the only one here to get the stall. The rest of their team should be able to get back here pretty quickly, though. As you do see, the Lucio Acro Voice should be around the corner here as well. But there's the charge in from Fire Lizard. But they are just going to be pestered by everyone on Drop the Guns here right now. Fire Lizard, though, doing a good job using that cart as just essentially another shield, another wall. Acro Void in that backline, just trying to pump in as much damage as they can here on to Jaden. It's Jaden now playing the BAP here, getting off the Ana after a really good round last time. The charge coming in there, actually be able to find Fear, which should open some up here for Ambitious, but they need to keep everyone alive.
Yeah, and again, it's just this Reinhardt shield that is currently keeping the enemies at bay, but how long is it going to be able to do that? It seems like potentially a little while longer, as Discord Kitten has been dispatched here, so this Reinhardt is here to stay!
And yeah. Ray paid to cut the feed. Ray paid to cut the feed right there. But honestly, Ambitious Silver Squad winning that fight right there is huge. Granted, though, if you drop the guns, you already kind of saw a lot of the team making those swaps back off of the initial kind of close hold breakers right there over to something else. We already saw Soj. What else do you think we're going to be seeing here?
It's very interesting, right? Because it depends on how much you want to swap, how much you're actually going to try to commit to here. I'm expecting the Orisa to try to stick around here, because I for the Stera Surge, but it's already been used.
Fire Lizard is coming alive here right now, not that far away from another Shatter. Jay does have Death Blossom, and we're in a very important part.
Yeah, listen, tech issues happen.
Yeah,
but this is the hold of dreams that is happening right now, and we're just losing it. And it happens.
Yeah.
Tech issues happen.
Week 1. But right now, Ambitious Silver Squad, they've really been able to figure something out here. And I think a lot of it does come off the back of this Reinhardt, who's just been able to really be a solid brick wall for this entire team, and really allowing the rest of their team to find value.
Yeah, and again, being able to hold space, use that shield, and realistically, nobody on the side of Drop the Guns has been very interested in breaking this shield as well here, so Fire Lizard really being that difference maker.
50 seconds left to go here, and Ambitious Silver Squad not that far away from sending us to another map, and hey, Jade still has a Death Blossom here. Acro not that far away from a pulse, and your support line is looking good, but right now, you need to keep Fire Loser alive. The first domino might have fallen as Locale finding 2 out already. Is there enough members of Ambitious Silver Squad to keep this fight alive? Beat coming out, pulse out from Acro, not going to be able to do enough. Jay's Death Blossom might be the thing that decides this series right here for them. Jay needs to keep themselves alive. They're popping it right now, but Acro gonna be able to find one. Jay, though, they find 2, keeping this series alive at the moment. The Pulse Bomb, though, coming back in, finds 2 of its own, but Fire Loser back into the fray. As you see, Drop the Guns backing out.
Yeah, but somebody's going to get onto this payload to touch it. This could result in the Baptiste having to give their life in order just to make sure they keep it going into overtime here, but we enter overtime nonetheless thanks to the Wrecking Ball.
Karma needs to stay alive. Oh, they were so close to that Kitsune Rush. That would have been huge for Ambitious Silver Squad right there, but they're still very much in this fight. Immortality Field gone. Acro going to be able to find one, but you lose the Fire Lizard early on. They have been so important for Ambitious Silver Squad this round. Right now, though, you're still alive and kicking, but you lose Vernix. Drop the Guns, trying to make sure they're able to get a 3-0 sweep here. Locale with 2 huge picks. An Ambitious Silver Squad, I'm going to be honest, they got better as this series went on, but it was just a little too late there. Drop the Guns. Gonna take their first series in a 3-0 sweep.
3-0 sweep, but like you said, that very tail end there, a lot of stuff coming up for Ambitious Silver Squad, especially off the back of Fire Lizard on that Reinhardt. That's something you could absolutely build upon for the future there. But Drop the Guns, I mean, you know, besides that sort of interesting sort of attack they had there where things were going a little bit awry, they really looked dominant and in control this whole series long. They had a clear game plan. They were able to execute it time and again here. And overall, it just looked like solid play from them.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, other than what we could see in that final round right there, it really seemed like Drop the Guns had a plan, like I said, able to execute it, and they were always able to get Ambitious Silver Squad just kind of off their game to the point where they just didn't seem comfortable running anything. That Reinhardt, though, I don't think it was a hero that I necessarily thought would be something that would solidify Ambitious Silver Squad a little bit, but it really did bring them back down to earth, calm them down, and lead to a lot of team fights, and probably the best that we had seen them play throughout the entire series.
Absolutely, and that's the power that a comfort pick can bring you. So, you know, like I said, that's something you can definitely lean into for future matches. This is one that you can certainly take to the VOD dungeon, figure out exactly what happened, and, you know, come back much better against these opponents next time, because you're definitely going to be seeing these teams face each other at least one more time throughout the season. So it'll be very interesting to see what can be learned between now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now, I believe we're going to throw it over to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be interviewing someone from Drop the Gun. So everyone, stick around. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are pleased to be joined by two Tryhard Ray, one of the support players from Drop the Guns, and technically, in a weird way, I believe he might be our boss. But Ray, hey, a great series from you and your team tonight, the dominant series all the way through. Third map had a little bit of a hiccup, but I mean, coming into this series here, were you guys expecting the kind of performance we saw here tonight?
We feel pretty confident in ourselves. I mean, we know the other team a little bit. Our coaches are on our tier 3 team for our org, and the coach of the other team is on that tier 3 team. So we at least knew of the team. But we felt pretty confident in ourselves. We tend to scrim up a lot in our scrims, to at least like 3.1 or 3.2. So we feel pretty good scrimming around what our actual SR is.
Hey, listen, that, scrimming it above is always, something that can help set you above and things like that. But, going through this match, you mentioned with us behind the scenes here for a second that specifically on Saravasa, I was sort of lambasting it as it was happening, but the no speed composition, the Moira Wu Yang, was actually something y'all intentionally cooked up. If you want to maybe reveal some of the details on how and why that works.
It was just in one of our scrims, we knew we wanted to run a Junker Queen comp on that map, and Wu Yang had just come out, and our support player, Jaden, shout out to Jaden, she loves Wu Yang. She's been cooking with Wu Yang. She's fantastic. I'm sure you guys saw that throughout the series. She really wanted to play Wu Yang on every map when we were scrimming. And we're like, what goes good with this? And our coach Tool was like, well, you can do Kiri, you can do Lucy, or you could do Moira. And we're like, let's just go with the Moira. So much just burst heals. It's going to be hard for them to focus someone down quick enough, especially in this tier, to be able to kill them with all the burst heals Wu Yang and Moira have. Yeah, it's limited, but if we win the fights fast, it's hard for them.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, those certain strategies, just going to write that down, all the other Plat teams. Listen, here's your interesting fact about them that you can learn for the future. But now to bring it up as well from the in-game, right? That third map, right? While we lost the feed a few times, we got the impression that what was supposed to be an easy cap was not going that way at all.
No, I'll be honest. We don't play a lot of Orisa. Like, honestly speaking, if we were to play an Orisa comp, I would more likely be in on the tank for that kind of, if we wanted to play that kind of tank. But we're just like, let's try it. We were afraid of them spawn holding us. So we wanted a little bit more tankiness on our tank. And then we wanted to bash and to blow up anyone who was trying to stop us. And I mean, admittedly, we did get the Rhine immediately. I just think once we got the point and started moving it, we probably should have swapped off, and we didn't.
Well, I mean, luckily you guys had enough time to make those right swaps. Granted, got a little bit panicked there at the end, and I mean, gotta give it up to Ambitious Silver Squad right there for really making it close there. But I mean, what's going to be your guys' biggest takeaway from this game going on here into your next game, and not only that, but the rest of your guys' season?
I think for us, it's just trying to capitalize on getting better on the smaller things. I think I mean, our coach is even telling us specifically on Ilios, like, I felt like a lot of the times we were making better individual players, but we just need to be better in the smaller things, capitalizing on rotating faster, stuff like that. So it's good to play these games like that to realize, the things you need to fix going forward for the rest of the season, because it's a talented Plat division. We're excited to keep going.
Absolutely, and it's going to be really fun to see the Plat division back this season. Ray, we'll let you go and go celebrate this victory with your team, man. Congratulations again on the victory.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Good luck.
Mega, I feel scared. Why do we need luck?
Good news, we don't need luck because our match is over. As I just saw the rage quits occur on BattleNet. But listen, that's behind the scenes. But hey, actually, with that match ending as well here, that just, reminds us that this is all just the drop in the bucket for the CGL season, right, Dex? I mean, this is just week 1. We just got to watch this great match here in the Platinum division as everybody else is wrapping up across the league. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, week 1, you have the first half, mid-season, back half, and then playoffs. So a lot more action to come here over the next couple weeks. Plus, we have South American action going on as well throughout the week and the weekend. And once our stream ends here, we'll be rating CGL 2 where there is a great South American region game going on. And trust me, me and Hunter have been covering that region a lot. It is really, really fun. But Mega, I mean, this was a good series here tonight for Drop the Guns. Ambitious Silver Squad, though, I think both me and you can really say they got better throughout this series. I think if they fix a few things here and there, they could be definitely one of those teams we see later down the line.
Yeah, definitely here, especially with Ray said it's a very talented Plat division, so I'm sure that we are definitely going to see more and more of them throughout the season, probably in that mid-season as well. So it should be a fun one to sort of keep track of and keep your eyes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, only week 1, a lot of action to come, like I said, but everyone, that will do it for us here tonight. Just want to give a quick shout out to Headrammer and Soa behind the scenes for putting on this production. We all hope you have a great night and a good week ahead here. And again, everyone stick around. Again, we will be rating CGL 2 here at the end of the stream. But until then, see y'all next time and have a good night.